Today we have John Castori. He is a mortgage guru, and he's a broker, and he's with Semper Home Loans. He's our turn two guy, one of them, and he is here today, and he's talking about 203K loan process. So the 203K loan, can you explain all about that? Because I know some of our listeners are like, what is a 203K loan?
I can't explain all about it because HUD dedicated 400 pages out of 1,000 to this program.
Man.
I'll give you the basics. It's an old program that's making a comeback now because of our equity positions in Rhode Island and Mass and Connecticut, as well as people wanting all the bells and whistles when they purchase a home to do upgrades. It's called the FHA 203K program. You can use it for renovations, upgrades, just to modernize your home and an all-in-one mortgage. The catch is it has to be your primary residence. So if you're a savvy investor out there, don't try to get away with one here. We've tied up all the loopholes for you. However, if you're an investor that has been sitting on a property for more than 90 days, you can advertise this to say, hey, why don't you, this is a great program for a 203K for a buyer, and especially realtors out there. You're the front lines there. I really need you to pay attention to the 203K process, and especially surround yourself with people that know how to close these loans and in a timely manner, on time, and deal with contractors like Lapco Contracting, our buddy Tommy. He's amazing at these. He's an all-in-one contractor that can handle, and he's not going to walk away at the table after he received his 50% of the upgrade money. So how it works, basically, there's two. They just changed the literature on this in September. It went from a full streamlined to a full 203K. Now it's called the limited and standard. And again, they're dedicating 400 pages out of a 1,000-page handbook just to this program alone, where it's easier to understand. And basically, if you see a house that you want to get rid of the paneling, upgrade the kitchens, all in one shot. When you purchase a home, this is the program for you. And there's many houses on the market that are outdated. That why not, if you're going to be maxed out on a house, because it's the same exact regulations and requirements on a regular FHA with a 3.5% down, they just tack on the upgrades on top of that in a one mortgage with a low interest rate. So you might as well, if you're going to be maxed out, you might as well be maxed out in style. All right, so now as far as breaking it down, $35,000 is the limited one, where you do not need a 203K counselor. Yes, there are actually counselors out there that do this for a living. For the more in-depth ones that need foundation, or you're putting on an addition, anything over $35,000, you need yourself a 203K consultant that you get right off the FHA Connection website. They get paid up front, non-refundable. Just like any purchase, you're shelling out $1,000 to get your offer accepted. Then immediately you go to Mike Auger to get a home inspection. It's anywhere from $350 to $600 depending on the size of the home. That's non-refundable. Then you work with a contractor like Tommy. He's amazing. He doesn't get any money up front, but it's his time that he's taking to go and give you an estimate on this house. We immediately order an appraisal once the estimate is done. That costs you anywhere from $485 to $600, again, depending on that. Non-refundable. You're paying for an appraisal, not an approval. Now, you want to deal with a realtor that knows what they're talking about. You want to deal with a mortgage company that closes these loans that is very, very familiar. I have 3 going at all times in every stage of the process. I love this program because, again, first-time home buyers can get everything they want all in one, and it doesn't take long to complete the work. That's where people start to get a little nervous. Like, I don't want to be waiting 6 months to move in my house. You can move in the house from day one, and they can start the process from day one because the contractors get 50% up front.
Yeah.
That's great for contractors because they don't have to shell out their own money.
Yep.
So they have time for 45 days is usually the normal purchase agreement date to close. They have time to set aside for that slot to finish the bathrooms, the kitchens, the flooring, the painting, whatever they do. And Tommy's an all-in-one contractor, so I would highly recommend him as far as the contractor is concerned.
It's wonderful.
So realtors, please get the word out there. You can easily just text me with the numbers provided here on the video. I'll send you a 3-page pamphlet that breaks it down so you sound like you're an expert and you know this program. But again, there's so much involved that I understand. I've memorized the 400 pages, so I'm not about to say that now. So either way, I'm happy to explain anything else that any questions that come up, and there are a lot. It's not used for luxury items. Keep that in mind. And if you're going to buy a sauna or a hot tub, those are the things that you can't do. But pretty much everything else you can. Even landscaping now, even fixing a pool, you can't put in a pool. Before there was a regulation that it was only up to $1,500 to fix an in-ground pool. The liner costs $1,700. So in most cases on the larger pools, there's no limit to that now. So a lot of great changes. The big changes came in September of 2015, where they changed the name and everything. They just updated on Monday, March 14th, the rewording of everything to make it simpler for us loan officers and underwriters to get these through.
Couple of things I want to add in there real quick. Look, there's not a lot of inventory on the market, okay? And if a house has been sitting on the market for a while, I'm talking 90 days or more, it's usually because it needs some work, okay? On top of it, when a house is sitting on the market for a while, a buyer can go in and can get a better overall price, because the longer a home sits, the lower the offers are that come in, and by the time it sells, if it's sitting for, like I always say, a 17-week time period on average across the country, they're netting 93% of not list price, but of fair market value. Okay, so here's the story, guys. If you can go in, if you can pick up an estate sale, if you can go in, if you can pick up a home that needs a lot of work, maybe even a short sale, okay, we sit you down and we talk about your long-term plan with a house. And that's why we will link you up with people like John Castori with Semper Home Loans, because he can go over this and we can see if this house will qualify for a 203K. Now, if it can, and if your goal is to sell this house in 2 years, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then to upgrade to another house, well, you already have built-in equity with some of these homes. And as long as the house can appraise for whatever amount of work you're putting into it, you're good to go. So again, if we can, let's say if we can get you a $100,000 house that would appraise at $200,000 after you put $35,000 to $40,000 worth of work in there, shazam, you've got a ton of equity.
You could actually go 110% over the value when you're purchasing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is that new?
No, it's not new. You can go 110% over the after rehab value on a purchase.
Wow.
Underneath, if it's a refinance, because you can use this as a refinance as well. But for today's purposes, we'll talk about purchase.
Yeah.
Because you're not just a pretty face on the radio; you're also a realtor during the day. So we need to gear this towards purchases. But another cool trick to this is if you see a small 3-family that you're interested in, that you want to get rent on at least one of them, you can convert it to a 2-family and live on the big side. So you can be very creative with this program. And again, just give me a call and I'll explain your options.
That's good stuff. See, I love having you on the show because you're constantly educating me as well. We do a lot of 203Ks, but I didn't know that you could take a 3-family, turn it into a 2.
You can convert a single to a 2. You can go back and forth.
That's unbelievable.
It's for your primary residence only. Anywhere from a single family to a 4-unit. Anything above that is considered commercial. You can convert a 5-unit into a 4-unit, so it will be an FHA within the guidelines of FHA.
That's awesome. So, John, how can they reach you? If somebody has questions for you, I know they can check out the roundtableradio.com, go under expert contributor section, see you there. They can watch your videos on there. But if they're listening to the show, we have a lot of callers that call in. How can they reach you?
You can Google me, John Castori. Just make sure you spell it correctly. It's Castore, not an I. Or you can text me or call me at 401-255-3314. Or email me at jcastori@semperhomeloans.com. If I can slide in one more thing, this is perfect there's really nothing else available to you. Once you buy this house without this program, you're already maxed out on your house for a very long time. So if you think you're going to be able to get any type of financing afterwards, you're not. A home equity line only goes to 80% of the value. It might be 10 years before you have 80% left.
Yeah.
50%, so you can get up to 80%.
Yeah.
So this is a great idea. If the house needs upgrades, you might as well get it out. And you can use it just to get appliances, to upgrade your appliances. You don't have to do construction.
Perfect. John Castori, Semper Home Loans, 255-3314, 401-255-3314.